For billions of years, the Sun has ruled in absolute dominance, a vast, unyielding sphere of fire and fusion, shaping the solar system with its light and fury. Its winds, made of charged plasma, have blown endlessly outward, sculpting planets, defining magnetic fields, and setting the outer boundaries of our world. For all of history, nothing has ever challenged that power. Until now. It began quietly, buried deep within the data from NASA's Parker Solar Probe and the European Space Agency's Solar Orbiter. Both spacecraft had detected something strange, a disturbance in the solar wind itself. Instead of streaming outward in a perfect radial pattern, the plasma was bending, curving as if obeying an invisible force. The distortion wasn't random. It had symmetry, rhythm, and an eerie consistency, as though something intelligent were shaping it. At the heart of this disturbance was an object named 3I, Atlas, a small interstellar body that had entered our solar system just months earlier. At first, scientists dismissed it as another visitor like Oumuamua or Borisov, an icy wanderer from the deep reaches of the galaxy. But this one was different. It didn't simply reflect sunlight, it seemed to modulate it, changing its brightness in precise, timed intervals. When the James Webb Space Telescope turned its gaze toward it, the mystery deepened. The light patterns weren't natural. The object was interacting with sunlight, absorbing, reshaping, and re-emitting it as if communicating in a frequency no one had ever encountered before. The solar wind around 3I, ATLAS began to behave in ways no known physics could explain. Parker's instruments showed plasma streams bending gracefully around the object, not in chaotic turbulence but in clean, symmetrical arcs, as though guided by a magnetic field of immense precision. The solar orbiter, positioned millions of kilometers away, recorded the exact same phenomenon. The alignment of the data was perfect. The solar wind, once untouchable, was being guided, folded, and redirected by something smaller than a moon. To bend the sun's plasma required power beyond comprehension. Only large planets or magnetic stars could produce such effects naturally. Yet this object, barely a fragment in cosmic terms, was achieving it effortlessly. Computer models failed to reproduce the curvature. Every simulation broke the laws of magnetohydrodynamics. Whatever surrounded 3I, ATLAS was not random plasma behavior. It was a system, a configuration, a field that seemed to respond dynamically to solar energy. Then came the light modulation. The James Webb Telescope observed rhythmic changes in brightness so precise they resembled a pulse, a signal repeating every 4.3 seconds. The object wasn't flickering due to rotation or vapor jets. It was absorbing sunlight and releasing it in controlled bursts. Its surface glowed with mathematical precision, pulsing like the beat of a heart. Under infrared observation, Webb detected that the object dimmed when solar intensity increased, as if storing energy, then brightened as it released it back into space. It was as though 3I, ATLAS was breathing in sunlight, converting it into another form of power. Physicists began calling it an energy algorithm. Every pulse matched minor fluctuations in the sun's magnetic field. The timing was too exact to be coincidence. It was responding in real time, mirroring the star's rhythm as though locked in a silent exchange. Some speculated that it was feeding on solar radiation, a technology capable of drawing energy directly from a star. Others proposed something even more astonishing, that the object wasn't just surviving the sun's fury, it was using it. If 3I, ATLAS could truly manipulate plasma and light, it meant it possessed a mastery of electromagnetism beyond anything humanity had achieved. The data suggested an active magnetic defense field, a controlled magnetosphere surrounding the object, bending the solar wind around it like water around a stone. Such a system would require staggering amounts of energy, billions of watts, enough to power a small star. And yet, the readings from Parker and Webb matched that scale perfectly. The energy it absorbed from sunlight could, in theory, sustain such a field indefinitely. The symmetry of the plasma arcs, the pulsing brightness, the feedback with solar activity, all pointed toward a terrifying conclusion. This was not a natural comet. It was something constructed. A relic or probe from a civilization capable of manipulating stellar energy. It might have been designed to travel through systems like ours, harvesting energy from stars, using magnetic control to protect itself from radiation and plasma storms. A machine that didn't just endure the sun's fire, it danced with it. This idea led researchers to revisit an old theory, the Kardashev scale, which measures civilizations by the energy they can harness. Humanity lingers below Type 1, drawing power from a single planet. A Type 2 civilization, however, could control the energy of an entire star. If 3I-ATLAS could truly bend the solar wind, then it was a manifestation of that kind of power, a fragment of a species that had mastered the physics of stars. Some believed it was a probe, autonomous and ancient, designed to travel the galaxy, feeding on stellar radiation and transmitting data back to its creators, wherever they might be. Others proposed that it wasn't even a machine, in the traditional sense, but a form of life that had transcended biology, an intelligence made of magnetic fields and energy. Such an entity wouldn't build tools. It would be the tool, a living network of plasma and electromagnetism, moving freely between stars. Whatever its origin, its presence carried a message. The sun itself, once thought immutable, was seen bending to something greater. For the first time, humanity witnessed evidence that intelligence in the universe might not be built of matter at all, but of light, magnetism, and energy. 3I-ATLAS became a mirror, a reflection of what we might one day become when we learn to command the forces of nature without resistance. As it drifted closer to the inner solar system, then slowly back toward the darkness between the stars, its influence on the solar wind began to fade. The plasma straightened. The rhythmic pulses weakened. Within weeks, the sun returned to its familiar patterns, as if nothing had happened. Yet the data remains, written across terabytes of signals, a silent record of the moment our star bowed to something not of this world. For those who studied it, the implications will never fade. 3I-ATLAS showed that the universe is not silent. It is alive with motion, rhythm, and conversation, one carried not through sound or words, but through light and plasma. The object may now be gone, but its presence has left a mark on human thought as profound as any discovery in history. Perhaps it wasn't an invasion or a threat. Perhaps it was a demonstration, a cosmic lesson in what lies ahead. A reminder that the path to true understanding is not to conquer nature, but to harmonize with it. 3I-ATLAS defied the sun, not through force, but through unity with its energy. In doing so, it revealed a glimpse of our future, a future where intelligence merges with the current of the stars. And as it vanishes into the interstellar dark, one truth remains. The light we study every day may already be studying us. Somewhere, far beyond the reach of our telescopes, something ancient and powerful still bends the wind.